Hey beauties, it's Riri. If you're new here, I'm an over 40 lover of all things beauty and I love showcasing indie brands here on my channel. Today it's a get ready with me using all of my Shop My Stash products. Alright beauties, before we dive in, please don't forget to subscribe and give the video a thumbs up if you do enjoy. I would love to have you be part of my beauty family. I am quickly going to tell you what is on my face. I decided instead of doing a full-on get ready with me and us being here for a year, so many of you wanted to see the Cosmic Brushes MUSE palette, and I also have not used it, so I'm dying to get into it. So I figured I would use up some of my Shop My Stash products on my face, and then we can kind of focus on the MUSE palette. So very quickly, I will let you know what I have on my face. I am testing out the Haus Labs Triclone Skin Foundation. I did get the little mini sampler that has 3 of them in it, and so far so good, but that is not part of my Shop My Stash. I will have a full video coming with that as well. I also went in and set with my e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder in the shade Medium. My brows are my Real Her I Am Strong Brow Pencil with my Gimme Brow in the shade 3. My bronzer is the NARS Laguna Bronzer. My blush is the P. Louise, the cheeks of it in the shade Sunkiss Miss. I think this is so stunning. My highlight is the LYS Beauty Brave highlighter. And of course, I'm going to go in and prime with my Glamlite Icing Eye Base and Buttercream. We are going to do some swatches and we're going to do an eye look. I will BRB. Alright, here is a up-close look at the palette. It does fold all the way back and does have a generous size mirror. I love having a palette that folds all the way back. And here is the color story. And then we'll do some swatches. Of course, I will go row by row from left to right. So first up we have Luster, Haze, Rosewood, and Ambient. Luster, Haze, Rosewood, Ambient. Next up are Filigree, Inspire, again everything feels incredibly smooth, Sweet Pea, and Patina. Patina feels slightly more textured or not quite as glass-like as some of the other metallic shades. Filigree, Inspire, Sweet Pea, and Patina. Alright, noting here that Patina has a little bit of a deeper base and it did stain slightly. Next up are Nouveau, Admire, Softly, and Pine. Next up are Muse, Fig, Amethyst. Amethyst also feels a little bit kind of drier or more firmly pressed than, and feels more like Patina did. And then we have Antique, Muse, Fig, Amethyst, and Antique. I'm just noting the Amethyst, it looks straight purple, but it has a ton of like really beautiful like blue sparkle and glitter. Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. Also noting that Amethyst does stain. And then last up we have Willow, Water Lily, Petal, and Whisper. Again, Whisper feels a little bit more kind of dry, the way that Amethyst and Patina felt. Willow, Water Lily, Petal, and Whisper. Alright, so hopefully that was helpful for you guys. I'm going to go in with a Clarity Cosmetics K1248. It is a very small pinched brush into the shade Nouveau first. And pop this on my crease. I want to keep it kind of low because I want to be able to blend it out. I hope everybody is well. I know that it feels like, because it has been forever since I've actually sat down and talked to you guys. I do have a massive skincare declutter coming as well. It's probably going to be the next video. But I am the type of person that if I'm not kind of feeling myself, so to speak, it's really hard for me to come in here and sit down and, you know, talk and film and be able to kind of play in makeup and stuff like that. So I do apologize for that. But you guys know that I am somebody that I am very open and honest about, you know, mental health. So I always say if you feel like you need to take a break, whether it's, you know, you need to tell your friends, hey, I'm not going to be around for a couple weeks, or, you know, like myself, if you're on social media and you feel like you need a break, it's okay to take a break. And I don't know if I already had something on this brush. I don't think that I did, but this definitely is coming across much darker on the lid than it is in the pan. That's not a bad thing. I'm just noting it for you guys. I'm also going in with a more small pinched brush, and I'm also kind of patting it in place first. So if you were to put this on a fluffy brush and do the kind of more open sweeping motions with your brush, I think you would get less opacity than this. So again, I'm putting it right here. They all swatched really, really nicely. Some of the shimmers, the Whisper, the Amethyst, and Patina, they don't feel quite as like glass-like or as smooth as the other ones, but that Amethyst shade, several of these shimmer shades are blowing my socks off. But the Amethyst, to kind of look at it, you can kind of see the sparkle in there, but when it's swatched, oh my gosh, all those beautiful like turquoisey, bluey reflex, oh my goodness, is stunning. I love this color story too. I'm very much a like grungy green, mustardy tones, burgundy tones, like warm, rich red tone person. And then I do like the little bit of purples that are in here, especially if you have brown eyes. Look, if you have brown eyes, honey, purple and brown eyes, they are a match made in heaven. Anyways, I hope everybody is well. Again, I do apologize for not kind of being around, but truthfully, it's just a little easier to make a shorts video. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It's just easier to, you know, record for 3 or 4 minutes and turn it into a shorts video. Those are not my favorite to do, you guys know that. I'm not a big fan of like more short form content. I love to be able to sit down and talk to you guys and just kind of have that conversation, and I just feel like it's a little bit more, you know, personal and stuff. So yeah, I'm getting back on track. I am trying to, you know, recover from the past couple of weeks or so. And I feel like sometimes that happens when we go to visit, you know, our son, because obviously when I'm with him, there's, you know, that level of joy that he brings me, because, you know, I'm a new empty nester and I'm still, you know, kind of getting my feet wet, so to speak, in the realm of being an empty nester. Hopefully you guys can understand that. So, you know, when I go see him, I don't have the worry and the anxiety and stuff like that. And obviously I'm not missing him because I'm right there with him. So, and I think that's what it is, because I'm kind of starting to notice a pattern, like when he comes to visit and then he leaves, or we go to visit him and then we leave. I definitely feel off. I definitely feel, you know, just maybe a little bit more sad, and it's kind of a little bit more hard for me to, you know, to sit down and want to film and maybe be creative during those times. But, you know, I'm definitely somebody that I am a firm believer in, like, self-talk, and really just trying to pick myself back up and say, all right, look, you know, you've been down for a week, let's get back up, let's get back on the grind. So I try to do that, and I try to be vocal about it, or at least let you guys know, like, hey, I'm not going anywhere, but I needed to step back for a minute. So hopefully you guys understand that. I know most of you do, and I know a lot of you also deal with that. Big fluffy brush. This is the Clarity Cosmetics K519. I'm going to go into Softly, which is kind of a very muted, very kind of greeny grayish shade. And I'm going to take that, and in between where I just laid that first shade and where I have no color at, I'm going to place that. And all I'm doing with this, you can see it, like you can barely see it. This is just going to start blending my edges for me. And I think I'm going to play with some purples in here too today. I should have planned. I normally don't plan. I kind of just go with the flow. The day that I am filming this is the day after my hubby's birthday. So if you guys do see this, then if y'all could wish hubby a happy birthday. We didn't really do anything at all. I kind of feel like the older you get, and maybe it's just us, maybe it's just, you know, because we live a very quiet, simple life, but I feel like the older you get, the less of a need there is to, you know, to party and to go out and stuff like that. I am definitely not, like, I'm not a drinker, I'm not a partier. I do, you know, enjoy hanging out with, like, my friends and family and stuff like that, and doing small get-togethers and gatherings. But yeah, I definitely do not miss, you know, going out, you know, going to clubs and stuff like that. That's just not my vibe. And if it is, then great, that's fantastic. You know, obviously I did that many times. It's just not, it's not for me anymore. And as you can see, how I thought that that was a little bit darker than how it showed up in the pan. You can see that it is definitely toning it down a little bit. I'm going back into Nouveau. And I just want to intensify it. These seem to be blending out well. I don't feel like I'm getting any patching or anything like that. The other palette that I tried from Cosmic Brushes, I really enjoyed. And they are fairly affordable, like very affordable. They are an indie brand based out of the UK. Then I'm going to go into Pine with the same small brush. That is that very deep Hunter green. I'm going to go in with a very less is more approach here, because I do not know how pigmented it's going to be. And I just want to deepen up just my outer corner. And again, when I'm trying to aim for full opacity, I press and stamp into place. Oh yeah, that's pretty. But this has been sitting here for a couple of months, ever since Kate and I did our swap. And when I did my Shop My Stash, of course, you know, I want to do looks with all of my Shop My Stash, like everyday products. But I wanted to use this just because I think it's such a beautiful and different color story, and you guys wanted to see it. So I was like, let me just focus on this for today. And I obviously have not sat down and talked to you guys in a little while, so I felt like it was the perfect opportunity. Do you have any plans? Do you have a birthday coming up? I would like to know, going back into Softly. Have you had any vacations? Do you plan on having vacations? I'm curious. I would like to know. Also, what are you watching on TV? I want to know that as well while I get some NYX glitter glue. We've kind of been jumping back and forth. Brett and I'm different from Brett when it comes to watching TV because I like to watch a series. I like to be able to get into something and know that I have something to watch every day, if that makes sense. Not that I don't like a good movie and, you know, laying on the couch and cuddling and all that kind of stuff, but I'm a series person, and not that he won't watch them, but he's more of, hey, let's pick a movie and let it be over with. How are you guys? But we've been going back and forth between, let me decide first. Oh man, I should have done this already. Patina. I feel like I always do like very green. Oh, that's pretty. Muse. Antique. Ambient. Oh, okay. I think ambient for sure. I think I want to do ambient maybe all over this one right here, and then go in the inner corner, like the whole inner part with that, and then put amethyst on the bottom lower lash line. We'll see. Yeah, I'll go with ambient first, just with my finger. You can also use a silicone applicator. You can also go in with a brush. You can dampen the brush, whatever is easiest for you, whatever makes you feel like the best version of yourself. That is pretty. Oh my goodness. So with that being said, we tend to kind of go in between, like we'll watch a movie and then we'll go to a series. We just started watching, I literally just forgot the name of it. Joe Pickett? Tackett? Joe? I believe Joe Pickett. But we watched a few episodes of that thus far. It's really good. It almost kind of reminds me of like Yellowstone meets like Mayor of Kingstown. Something like that. But so far so good. We are also watching Outlander. And definitely trigger warning if you've not watched it and not heard of it or anything like that. There is a lot of SA in there, and it can be a little bit hard to watch, so I just want to note that for you guys. But I will say I think that it is incredibly like well written. I don't think that it's like super drawn out or anything like that. I love it. It's intense though. It's very, very intense. I love like period pieces. I love anything that's like, you know, Viking type things. Like we finished all of Vikings, like the show Harlots, things like that. I love shows like that. So if you have recommendations, let me know. The shade is outstanding. So yeah, that's what we're watching. I'm also watching, not the latest project Project Runway, but the previous season, and then I think I'm going to start watching the current season of Project Runway. And then I'm also kind of by myself starting to watch Insecure. I'm on the first episode. I don't really know how I feel just yet. And I am somebody that I give something usually 1 or 2 episodes. Sometimes, and I even try to remind Brett, going in with Amethyst with a smudger brush, I try to remind Brett that, okay, that's not picking up very well on my brush, so let me spray my brush. Hold please. But I try to remind Brett, and I remind myself, like sometimes the first episode of something, you're kind of getting your feet wet with the show, so to speak. You know, we're figuring out plots and stuff like that. We have to kind of figure out what the baseline of the story is, things like that. So even if I'm not a fan of the first episode, I will go to a second. Now, after the second episode, if I'm still like, yeah, I'm not feeling it, then I'm not going to watch it. I wish I would have put this on the top, just because you don't really see the reflect in it, but oh my gosh, it's still beautiful, and I'm loving this look so much. But yeah, that's what we've been watching. If you have anything, any recommendations, I would love to know your recommendations. We have finished The 100, we finished Vikings. I was starting to watch Bear. I may still try to get into it, but it wasn't like my favorite. I finished Ozark. I've definitely finished a lot through the course of this past year or so. Oh my gosh, I'm loving this so much. I actually think I'm going to go in with a little tiny pencil brush. This is a Lavish brush I got in like an IPSY or something. And I want to go into this very, very soft, kind of like pastel-y lilac-y pink called Sweet Pea. This may not work out, but we shall see. It's okay. I prefer something bright and light, especially for me having hooded lids. I really try to keep this part of my eye looks a little bit more bright and kind of, you know, really open and light. But I don't mind this at all. And I think everything is really complementary. Like the whole palette can be used, you know, with other palettes, especially with their other palettes. And they say that on their, you know, their social media. They're like, hey, we want every palette to be a complementary palette to maybe what you already have or to the palettes we already have. So far, so good. I think that everything blended out well. Nothing looks patchy or muddy. The flips and the transitions in those multi and duochrome shades look absolutely stunning. I'm impressed. So yeah, let me know what you guys have been watching. And there's not a whole lot for me to catch up on as far as, you know, we went for 4th of July for those 4 days to go see our son. And then your girl's been in a little bit of a funk since then. I'm kind of pulling myself out of that. And doing a declutter. And when I do a declutter, it's not solely to film for YouTube. I do it because I hate clutter in my house. So I like to declutter and purge every 4 to 6 months or so, like clothing, shoes, makeup, house stuff, you name it. I try to purge and go through it all. So, and I feel like in doing that, it just kind of makes me feel a little bit more weightless. You know what I mean? Like when I can kind of make my space be the way that I want it to be. Like even with my beauty space, I try to switch it around. I try to make sure that I keep it, you know, the way that I like it, to where I feel comfortable and secure and safe. And that's important to me. I set out 2 liners. These are the Made by Mitchell All Smudge No Budge liners. And I was gonna try to use both, but I'm thinking the limey green's not gonna look the best. So we'll go in with the purple one, and this is the shade Passion. I hate opening these. Let me get some tweezers. I'm going to put some of this on, again, the shade Passion. I'm going to curl my lashes. I'm testing out a new mascara, so I'll come back with that on. Yeah, and then we'll wrap things up. Alright beauties, and here is our finished look. I had some of my Too Faced lip injection on, and I literally just lined my lips with that same eyeliner as my lip color. The palette I really, really love. I'm excited to use it again. If you'd like to see another look, please let me know. I'm blown away. I think they have fantastic quality. This is the second palette that I have from them. Of course, I will keep testing this particular one out, but I cannot stop looking at myself, and that is a testament to how pretty I feel like it looks, and I think it looks great. The liner, extremely creamy. I don't know, obviously, how long it's going to last. I will update you guys on that. Long wearability is super important to me. No tugging, no irritation or anything like that, but I love this look. I hope you beauties like this look. I hope you are doing great. I hope you are feeling fantastic. I hope you are enjoying your summer. If you are somebody like myself, that summer is not your favorite and you're ready for fall, comment down below. I love you beauties. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. And of course, be your own best beautiful. Bye beauties.